Hi guys, I'm Stefan. Welcome back to another lesson in my Czerny's Opus 599 for solo learners course. In this video, we're going to learn number 55. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to get this very special edition of Czerny's Opus 599 specifically for solo learners, links will be below. So number 55 is again kind of a revision study, which is summing up the things you learned in the previous 10 exercises in the book. And this one is really focusing on passage work and dotted rhythms. So we have a lot of dotted rhythms in the right hand, and then by passage work I basically mean fast running scales and scale-like motion, where we really need to have clean articulation, very fast fingers, and fluency throughout those passages. So let's have a look. We are in the key of G major, so every F is going to be F sharp, and we are in 2/4, so 2 quarter note crotchet beats in every bar. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now this is really important when feeling the pulse, especially when we switch from dotted rhythms to a group of 4 16th notes or semiquavers. The tempo mark is allegretto, so fastish, but as with all of these Czerny exercises, start extremely slowly and don't think of a specific metronome mark. There isn't one, and that's not really the purpose. The purpose is to learn it really well technically, and then try to go with a nice, fairly fast speed that drives the piece forward. If you make lots of mistakes, always go back to slow speed and don't play it fast if it's uneven and full of tension. So the first section is until the repeat sign, and here you can see the left hand is playing a very simple broken chord accompaniment where we don't have an Alberti bass, we have kind of a rotational left hand. So we have this G major chord in the first bar, and as you can see, it's bottom 2 notes, top, bottom 2, top. So it's kind of a seesaw motion between the left and right side of the hand. So we need to do this kind of hinging motion, very subtle hinging motion. But the important thing is to do it legato and to make sure that the bottom 2 notes go down perfectly together, instead of where you have a little mismatch between those 2 notes and one finger is earlier than the other. So be very careful about that. Round those hands nicely, relax the wrist and firm fingertips into those notes, starting extremely slowly. So first bar, it's just 8th notes quavers, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then we have a D major chord, F sharp A D, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and back to G, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and another D7, but this time DAC, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and a little staccato in the end to finish off with the tonic. So it's just tonic and dominant, chord 1, chord 5, in 2 different forms, like in all of these Czerny exercises. Now let's see the right hand. It has 3 phrases, where the first 2 are a little bit shorter, and the last one is the one which has the passage. Remember, when you have dotted notes, so a group of 2 notes, where the first one is a dotted 8th or dotted quaver in this case, and the second one is a 16th note or semiquaver, the first note is 3 times as long as the second one. Well, usually these notes go really fast, so we don't have time to count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead, we try to make it really sharp and feel the pulse. So we've got 2 beats, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So trying to really concentrate on getting those dotted notes on the beat and that 16th note or semiquaver right before the beat to make it nice and sharp, especially when you go faster. As you can see, we've got the slurs, so make sure it's lovely and legato, leading the melody from the hand, and also when you get to the end of the slur, lift up your hand and start a new slur. So let's see the first 2 phrases. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and lift. So we had a little group of 4 16th notes or semiquavers that goes again in 1 beat. When we get to bar 5, that's where the passage work starts, which is going to be a very long scale finishing with the same dotted rhythm, but watch out for the octave higher sign. So we're climbing an octave higher, starting 4 on the B, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Rest. And that's the end of the passage. So we start in this B, jumping down to the D. It's basically a G major scale, but starting on the D because we only have an F sharp. It wants to look like a D major scale, but it's not. It's a G major scale. And then we come back on this D7 chord, C, A, F sharp, G. And that's the end of that section. Now let's put it hands together. Now the only thing you need to watch out for is how the two hands match up. So when you have the dotted rhythm, it goes 1, left, right, together, left, right, together. Because it's basically the second eighth or quaver of the left hand, and then comes the 16th note or semiquaver, and then they join together again with the dotted note. So, and 1, lift, D chord. Now comes the scale, crescendo, and D7 chord, and staccato. And that's the end of the first section. So quite playful, very light, a little bit of crescendo diminuendo, not too much dynamics going on. Let's move on to the second section, because as you can see, this theme comes back in bar 20, in bar 19. So let's go D major chord, F sharp, A, D, 1 and 2, and an A major chord, secondary dominant, E, A, C sharp, then an A major chord again, but in first inversion, C sharp, E, A, and D major in root position. Now this one is quite tricky because you're moving in between the inversions of the chords. You really have to practice falling onto that new chord. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And for these double notes, you can use 2-4 or 3-5, whichever feels more comfortable, especially when you do the transition. Then the left hand goes F sharp, a D major chord, but this time look, the pattern changes. The bottom F sharp is held all the way through, and the top part of the chord is staccato. 1 and 2 and E minor chord, 1 and 2 and D major, A7, D. So we basically modulated to the dominant here by using the secondary dominant, which is A major, which is the dominant of D major, which is the dominant of G major. Let's see the right hand. Starting number 2 on the B, remember we're an octave higher. So again, number 2 on the B, and we have arpeggios here. The first one is going to be A, D, F sharp, A, so a D major. Lift up, 3 on the A. And now cross under number 1 and an A major arpeggio. So an A major 7 and finishing on F sharp. Then be careful, the octave sign is finishing, so we jump down to the D number 3. And we do a lovely D major scale this time because we have a C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And thirds. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1. So once again, let's see these chords. B, D, G, B, E, G, D, F sharp, A, E, G, C sharp, E, and D. So outlining the same harmony as I've already mentioned with the left hand. Hands together. Be careful, hold down the F sharp. And we go on. And the main tune comes back. And now it's going to change here. The left hand goes G major. Then an A minor chord, C, E, A, G major, B C7, D, A, C, and G major coming down staccato. Right hand starting B number 4, and now just the third, B, G. And now we have some little runs, 5-finger runs. So what's happening here? A G major chord in first inversion, a big stretch here to D, 3, 2, 1, then an A minor chord, 5, 3, 2, 1, a G major chord, 5, 3, 2, 1, crossing over 2, 5, 3, 2, which is our dominant chord, chord 5, and 1. So again here, we've got crescendo as we go up, and rounding of the ending. So many little passages and scales, and make sure they run really smoothly. Start very slowly, feel where is the first note, so where is the pulse? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So feel that beat, because that's going to unify all these runny notes after each other. Now let's put it together. So again, going from the B, and now A minor, G major, and that's the end of the piece.